are live. This is Arsenal Fans Circle, and I've got a face from last season has rejoined me. Matt, really good to have you back.
Yeah, great to be back on, Ray. I really appreciate you having me back on again. Like I said, I had a bit of a break over summer, and it's a pleasure to be invited back on today. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. We knew what this season would, especially the fixture list coming out, Matt. We knew what the start might entail. Nobody kind of envisaged the first game. I thought it'd be a tough game, but we'd get through it. Unfortunately, circumstances went against us, and we were probably, I would say, we're 5 to 10% off in terms of what you need. The first ingredient is desire in that Brentford game.
Yeah, we're definitely lacking a bit of drive, weren't we, and a bit of get and go. I think obviously everything that's come out after that game with the COVID cases and kind of late potentially cancelling the game off, that's probably thrown the players and the team a little bit, being up in the air. But it shouldn't, as a professional athlete, that shouldn't really affect your desire on the pitch. But Brentford are a decent side. I think they'll do all right this year. I think they've got enough to kind of stay up and do some. Do well this year. So they were never going to be an easy team, particularly like, their first Premiership game. The fans, as you saw, were right behind them in that, in that game. So they were pumped for that. So I think any team really probably would have had a handful, I think.
We wanted Arsenal to hit the ground running against Brentford. It didn't happen, as you said, Matt. COVID has come into play, and it looks like from the press conference yesterday, Mikel Arteta doesn't, I almost called him Marteta. Mikel Arteta doesn't always reveal too much, but I think he sort of let us know that the Premier League kind of forced Arsenal into that fixture. It being the first fixture of the new season, the Premier League were always wanting to probably get that one done.
Yeah, they're not. It's going to be, let's get this game played if we can. They're not, like I say, they're not going to want to cancel the first game of the season, are they? It's not going to be the greatest start to the season.
It would have been a bad look for sure.
Yeah, so I think it was a bit unfortunate. I think it's first game of the season. There's going to be lots of ups and downs. You've got to take it, holistically as the season goes on. So, as much as everyone was disappointed not to get the win against Brentford, I think it's a long old season. We've got a lot of games to go yet. So hopefully today, although we've still got some issues with COVID and things like that, hopefully we'll see a much better performance today.
Yeah, and in about 15 minutes from now, we are going to have the lineups announced live here on Arsenal Fan Circle. And between last season and this one, Matt, we've sort of taken on the moniker of airlines. So, we have all the flight checks. All systems are go. The flight crew. We're still waiting on a few maybe flight crew members coming. Tony is maybe not able to join us today, and Steve Denham, thanks for joining us. We might have a couple more coming in, but definitely report to the gate. Check in means hit that like button. Check in at the gate, and let's get ready for the pre-flight check here, Matt. So this is our first pre-game show of the season, the first home game for Arsenal. And if we mention the Brentford fans having a part to play last week, Matt, we want the Arsenal fans to have a part to play today and have that atmosphere be buoyant, the stadium bouncing. I do hope that the fans get involved today. What do you think?
I think they will do. I think it's massively important. I couldn't imagine being an athlete being used to playing in front of thousands of fans, and then suddenly going through COVID and having absolutely nobody in the stadium. It must have been absolutely just so weird. But I think Pepe mentioned in an interview on the Arsenal website that he's looking forward to having fans back. Obviously, Arteta mentions it quite a bit in terms of making sure that as a fan base we're behind the team and it makes a massive difference. So. And on Twitter, I was saying to you before we came on, Ray, that actually, there seems to have been a little bit more positivity on the Twitter. And people tend to be kind of focusing on getting behind the team rather than actually, all of these protests or moaning about this and that. They seem to be focused on actually getting to the stadium and actually giving it a good, having a couple of beers and singing their heart out.
All right. 2 more members of the flight crew have arrived. You're late, Gary.
You know what? I'm gonna blame this one on OBS.
What's OBS?
There's a thing that's happening behind me, as you can tell. I got
it looks good. I like it.
Yeah, I'm setting up for my show, and I was like, how do I get this thing set up to do this? And I was like, So,
Alonso, thanks for joining, Alonso. So,
hey, how you doing?
We're talking about the home crowd. We want it to be bouncing today, Alonso.
Yeah, especially for my birthday, right? Yeah, I mean, I think
happy birthday, mate!
Yeah, happy birthday, Alonso!
So it's important, I think, especially during a derby game. I think a rivalry game brings out the best in Arsenal. To be fair, I think that, especially when you lose to Brentford, I think that it's embarrassing the way they lost, and I hope that somehow the crowd gives them actually give them more of a pump for today's game, and I think I can see that happening. I think that the guys should be ready to be able to play and put on a performance, and depends on who's playing today as well. I think that hopefully the crowd being in the game. I think Arsenal being a top team is still very how can I say it, relevant to the world. I think that they bring a lot. They have a lot of fanfare across the globe. So I think that the crowd should be involved today, and hopefully they're giving some good news.
Exactly, Gary. We were mentioning just before you came on, we didn't have that extra 5 to 10% against Brentford. The Brentford crowd, the home crowd, buoyed the team forward. And if we have a disadvantage against Chelsea, we need the crowd to be involved today. And really, thanks for joining as well. Great to have 5 of you in here. As the stream will go further, I'm sure we'll get a few more coming in, and we will announce the team in about 11 minutes. But Gary, the rumor today has come true. Ben White unavailable today also.
Yeah, this is going to be just the way football goes going forward from now on. So I guess we're going to have to get used to it. It's just going to be the norm. I mean, it's just essentially you can look at it maybe as a really bad cold, but it isn't exactly a little bad cold, but it is the way of football right now, right? I mean, it's something we're gonna have to get comfortable with when we hear it, because it's gonna continue. I don't, is it gonna go away? Most likely not. So we're just gonna have to live with it, deal with it, and that's why your squad is gonna have to be set up a certain way so that you can accommodate. You can still get what you need done, even when you have players out for these types of reasons. Because to me, this is just you can look at this almost like an injury, right? So these are things we're just gonna have to get used to, and this is the new football life football landscape we've actually been presented with. So yeah.
And Chelsea have been affected as well, haven't they? Because Pulisic is out as well, isn't he, with COVID? So
So I mean, he's a menace to us as well as Lukaku might be today. So so that might be a plus, or might be a minus. So we'll see. I mean, the one thing I'm looking forward to, though, is, we did play a team last week that I think a lot of fans were happy with, because we wanted to see them play. We wanted to see the younger players play. Hopefully we get to see that again today. This is not a make or break season per se, in the sense that we're not trying to win. We're trying to win the league, but we're not anywhere close to winning the league this year. So, but we do need to get a strong team, and right now, that's only going to happen with our youngsters. I mean, based on what we've seen so far. So, for those fans in the stands, enjoy it. If you're going, I guess I'm not necessarily on one way in or out as far as should I go to the games. I mean, I would get going to the protest and going to the game. I don't think that's two-faced to me. I think that you can do one and the other. You can do both, and then both things are right to me. Yes. We want to see change. I think KC thinks they've made changes because they've opened up the books, but everybody says they didn't open up their books. They opened up Arsenal's books, right? They are the least. They influenced the checkbook for Arsenal very minimally, right? They don't put any money in there, so which is the way they want to run business. And if that's the case, then everything else has to be kind of perfect, right? And they're not doing that either. So I got a mouthful of stuff that I was saying, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. Any fans in there, enjoy it, cheer them on. If they want to cheer, if they want to boo, Stan and Josh, then let them. That's their, they paid their ticket. They can do it. They can do anything they want, but they gotta cheer. They gotta cheer the team on, right? They can boo Arteta. They can boo the Cronkies, KSC, whatever. They're gonna cheer the team on, and then I can live with that. Right?
Look, that's what it's all about. As a fan, you go to the stadium, you get to voice your opinion on the players. You can be supportive. We prefer to be more supportive, but there are definitely people who are being negative. As long as you express your negativity in the right way and the way society allows, and then go for it. Riddy's here. He says Saka, Lokonga, Martinelli starting. It seems Oba on the bench, and Mahir. Also, Riddy, if you want to, when the team comes out, flash it up in the comments for us. I'll highlight it as well. We'll definitely be monitoring the situation as well. Mahir, thanks for joining, mate.
Oh, Matt, welcome.
Yep.
I should say you've
Hello,
been here
good to see
before,
you.
but it's good to have you on.
It's great
Alonso,
to see you all
Gary,
again.
the usual. Sam, what's good?
So, Mahir,
I see Gary's in this. Gary's at the stadium.
I'm at the stadium in New Jersey. This is
reporting
yeah.
live.
This is the picture I took when I was. This was Henry when he came to the U.S. and played the New York Red Bulls. So you can see. Yeah. So
Mahir, we can have our doubts about what can happen today, but every season hope springs eternal. So first home game, we're all hopeful. We're going up against Chelsea here. I think of it as a game as can we upset the title hopefuls? You're laughing.
I was just thinking of how low our expectations are, and I joined Alexander McCannon fodder in the chats, and then I was telling them I actually don't have any expectation. So I'm just taking it game by game, not expecting any wins, not expecting us to get hammered, which might be a massacre, guys. Let's be honest. It might
There's
be
every possibility that it could be 3, but the likelihood is that's not going to happen. Not 4.
I hope not. Like you say, hope springs eternal.
This is why you play the games.
Arsenal plays up to their plays up or down to their competition.
Hey guys,
right?
London's out. They have Pepe starting up front.
Who's out?
Pepe's up front.
Pepe's up front. Pepe's up front.
Pepe's up front.
Okay.
And Suarez is right back. Holden is it's a 4-2-3-1.
Mm-hmm.
And Emil Sissoko is number 10 at the 10. Saka is playing right wing. Martinelli is left wing. Sambi and Xhaka are both partnerships. Murray and Tierney are the left side.
Did you say Pepe up front?
Yeah.
Some people are thinking Martinelli up front, so we can go either way. We can go either way with that. So I think that's the nice thing about our team with that front 4. Most of them can interchange either on the sides, or they can move up top if we need to, which is, I think, a benefit to us because we're gonna need to take advantage whenever it comes. So yeah.
Gary, I'm just looking at what the BBC has
Cedric,
said.
right back.
But you're right, yeah.
Okay. We have Leno, we have Tierney, we have Pablo Mari. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holding.
Holdinho.
Yeah, see Holding
In
on the
there.
left.
Okay, so Cedric is right back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Granit Xhaka and Lokonga, Emile Smith-Rowe,
Yep.
Saka, Pepe, and Martinelli.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Let me get rid of Oba available. So is he on the subs bench?
Yeah.
Somebody said he's on the bench. Yeah, a lot of people are saying
He's on the bench. Yeah, he's on the bench.
Okay.
Arsenal, I haven't seen Arsenal post anything yet. Oh, there it goes. It finally did come through.
And Kolasinac is on the bench.
I just saw that. I was looking at yeah.
Well,
what are we doing? What do we? The guy isn't he actually signed? Isn't it almost like the paperwork? This is drying, and he just needs to put his pen to it. Why is he on the bench?
Because we are trying to move him on.
No, he's moving on. It's not even like we're
He's
trying.
signed, isn't he? It's 1.8 million.
Is it confirmed yet?
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Ray. He is not playing for Arsenal, even if they have to pay him the money and say
Oh my
goodbye.
God.
This
He's
is
not-
like the Ben White situation on July 16th.
This is not. No, it's not the same. It's not the same. Come on.
You have him out the door the same way I had Ben White coming in the door.
It is not the same. Do not compare.
Hey, we'll have plenty of time later to discuss that if you're going to be on the post-game show. Join us. We're going to do 1:30 EST, which is 6:30 Matt's time, if that's good for you, Matt.
That's good. Anyway.
Be right after the game. Emotions will be raw. How about that? That's what Arsenal do to us, you know. We'll be right after the game out here. So join us at 6:30 Greenwich Mean Time, you know. All right, so what do we think of the team, Matt?
Do you know what? I'm not actually. I know people have mentioned about Cedric Suarez being right back. I'm actually not against him. I actually think he's a decent right back, rightly or wrongly. The one thing that really kind of concerns me is probably Mari and Holding together. I would have maybe with injuries maybe have tried Chambers in there as a centre back instead. But actually, looking at the rest of that team, I'm quite excited about seeing Pepe up front and seeing Martinelli on the left. I think that's not a bad lineup, really, given the circumstances. I think that's a decent setup.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the best setup we got, but I think it is scary, the back line on that right hand side. I mean, I think it's just scary to me. It's just scary because it's not like we're going up, it's not like we're going up against a Brentford, which shouldn't have scared us, but did, right? But we are going against a team with just a lot of attacking premise on there. You know, they're just going to keep, they're going to bring it to us, and it's just scary to think that they're going to have to hold up. We're going to have to play really defensive. I mean, that's why, I guess many had said 3 at the back would have worked, a lot better, just because we're going to need that. We're not going to have our, we don't have our starting lineup, much less them coming off the bench. So we're not going to get better when we go to the bench if we need to. So that's the other part to this.
I'll just give Alonso a moment to gather his thoughts. So go to Mahir. Mahir, your thoughts on the lineup?
I'm excited to see that. I mean, we've got nothing to lose, right, guys? So, like Matt
That's
said,
a massacre in your opinion, right?
Might as well try keeping up front, Martinelli.
No difference in your opinion. That's what we have to lose. You and Stan believe it will be a massacre. And I think Saka, Pepe, and Martinelli, what I'd love to see is to change positions, left, right, and center. And Gary's got the green screen, but he cannot drown out the noise from the background, right, Gary?
Oh, you can hear that?
There's a puppy in the crowd.
He's hungry. He's hungry. And the crazy part is, as soon as I put food in the bowl, guess what? He runs away, and I'm like, what's the point of this? And then he'll come back 5 minutes later and then eat, and I'm like, come on, dude.
This is what we do. We prepare for these podcasts. I was cooking breakfast for the fam in the last hour or so. I saw United are losing 1-0. That's very, very good. Tottenham are winning 1-0. So it's kind of balanced. Alonso, what do you think about the lineup here? I mean, it's the best lineup we could put together. I think all Gunners would have wanted 3 at the back, but with White being unavailable, this is probably the best formation to go with, 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, and I think that the front four, like you guys have been saying, I think that they do well with link-up play. I think that with last game Saka didn't start, and with Pepe he did his usual tinker toes, moving in and out to the box and dribbling and all that stuff. But I'm very confident, actually. I think that we're a very younger team, obviously, but we have pace, and I think that would be our key today is our pace. I think Sambi showed last game that he could do. I think that he's very confident now, seeing he's got his first game out the way. The only thing that scares me is Shaka messing up. Usually messes up against Chelsea, and has a hard time with that pace. So
Leno playing out to Granit Xhaka. We can see that now, right?
Another nightmare. So I think I think that Timmy's gonna have the game today. I'm very confident. I understand that because it's my birthday, but I think that Arsenal will probably hang in there and hopefully get a win. I mean,
we got to see a reaction, Matt, today from the team.
Yeah, I fully expect that today. I think there's been a lot of criticism of the club as a whole over the last few weeks and kind of towards the end of the summer. Obviously, the Brentford game put a lot of focus on us as a club. So I think they'll be really wanting to go out and prove everyone wrong today. And, we've got a pretty decent record against Chelsea. I think they've only won 3 of the last 14 or something in all competitions. So, I don't think, we as Arsenal fans would have probably predicted that record over, say, 14 or 15 games. So I think there's every chance that we could go and get a result today or it not be a massacre. A draw is entirely reasonable to potentially see, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Gary, both teams start on 0. It's 0-0 when the whistle goes off, Gary.
Yep. And I guess, I did talk a little bit about the back line, but let me just finish up with what I wanted with the rest of the lineup. The front 4 for me is we're going to have to lean on. They're going to have to put a lot of pressure on Chelsea for me to feel comfortable, or because if not, we don't, with Xhaka and Sambi in the middle there, they're still working things out, and we keep losing the midfield, all right? So they have to have a really good game today. I'm not sure what that looks like right now between the two of them, because Sambi and Xhaka are just on, to me are 2 different types of midfielders, the way that they play. Sambi's still figuring it out, and Xhaka, we know what he brings to the table. So that front 4, when they get the ball, has to be really good today. I think that's going to be our strength, and we need to lean on our strength, right? We're going to have basically seven people back on defense, and the 4 once we attack, we need to attack with all 4 players to put pressure on them, or else we're going to be in trouble. And if we sit back and play defense all game, I can't see that.
Yes,
I can't see a 1-0 Arsenal match kind of giving up one goal, just playing defense for 60-70% of the match, which that's not what I think we want to do either. So.
Well, do you think we'll be forced to play counter-attacking football, Gary, a little bit? We have a lot of pace in those forwards in Pepe and Martinelli. We've got some, what do you call, ball retention in Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka.
Yeah.
So it's possible we could set up to counter-attack today.
No, I get that, but I think we're going to have to at some point use our strengths against them and not kind of wait for them to kind of turn the ball over, so that we can get either a quick counter attack or something like that.
That could be our strengths with this lineup. That could be our strengths. Looking at Pepe and Martinelli's pace.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that will be part of the plan, but we need to be able to, at least at some point, Arsenal will have to use their strengths against the other team and not wait for the other team to give them opportunities. You know what I mean? At some point, the 11 players need to know that at some point we will need to move the ball forward. And we're not going to do that just because the other team gives, we defensively go in and make a quick interception and take off and go back the other way. That's my thing, is that we need to be able to dictate the game at some point, not kind of sit back and absorb all the pressure from the other team, or else we're just never going to get ahead. I mean, if you watch a game and we're sitting back kind of absorbing all the pressure, we kind of wilt after a while, and most teams do. This isn't a team to sit back and let them have everything they want. At some point, we have to go in there and take it away from them,
Matt, what have you thought of Lokonga? Will he be key today in doing what Gary maybe wants to do with the team?
Well, I think he's going to be our ball carrier, isn't he? I think he's going to be the one that's... Xhaka's obviously got a decent eye for a pass on him, but I think Sambi is going to be the one that takes the ball forward and progresses it for us. So I think he'll probably be the one that's linking up with the likes of Saka and the front 3. So, yeah, I think he's going to be quite important to us. Xhaka's probably going to have to do a fair bit of mopping up, obviously, when he's taking the ball forwards. But I think he looks like a decent player. I think as the season goes on, I think he's going to look quite impressive and quite a good buy.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the scary part, though. Xhaka will be your defensive stalwart, right? Sitting back there in front of the back 4. Sometimes he gets caught out, and you're just like, and he never. For me, it's not even that he gets caught out; it's that he never runs back to the middle of that goal to just get in position. It kind of seems like he's jogging back, and like we need that extra person to come in there to help. And that's kind of that's what I'm screaming at him. Like, why are you jogging back? Get back to that penalty box and let's see what's going on there and try to help out your partners, because we're under a little pressure there.
What he will do, Gary, which scares me, he will demand the ball from Bernd Leno, because that is what Granit Xhaka does with his back to with his back to where we want to go, and it's a dangerous tactic that Chelsea are probably going to seize upon today. Mahir Alonso, Mahir is still there.
Yeah, I'm here.
So what? Let's talk a little bit about Rob Holding and Lukaku. I like that matchup. That might be a physical aspect that Rob Holding likes to. It sort of leans into his game a little bit. Rob Holding's game.
Are we talking about the Man United supporter?
Yes,
No,
of course. He's an Arsenal player, but he might be a Man United supporter. Afternoon, the assembled.
Not good enough.
We have a balanced panel here. You go from the wildly optimistic to not good enough, not here. So everybody has a voice here, of course, because the fan base can go from A to Z, and my hair is closer to Z than A.
Look, guys, I want to be optimistic. I really, honestly would love us to surprise everybody. But at the same time, it kind of papers over the cracks if you guys think about it. It kind of papers over the... Because then he's going to be like... Arteta is going to be like, see, I told you. And we're going to be like, no, you idiot, you clown. You're not supposed to be at our club managing. Yet you never made in your entire life.
What do you think of the window so far, Mahir? We got Odegaard, Bark. No, not enthusiastic.
3 words. Not good enough.
If you had one more signing to have Arsenal give, what position would you fill? Because I had a little bit of a schmozzle today.
Oh, I've got my position. My position would be manager.
Yeah, you can't pick the manager. He unfortunately.
What? You can't just change the roles on him?
It's not a position.
It is a position on the team. The captain of the ship.
I'm the host. I can change the rules.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
I can shift the goalpost, guys. All right. Outside of the manager or the coach, Mahir, what position?
I would probably bring in a partner for Partey. That or a right back. One of the two.
So what?
I know goalkeepers are so important, but I don't think we're gonna. I don't know why we didn't keep Matt Macy and sign Onana, and then just burn Leno at the end of everything. The beginning of next year. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the same questions of the other three here. I'll start with Matt. What position, if you can sign any player in a position, what position would you strengthen in the club?
Do you know, I've flipped and I've flopped on this so many times in the last couple of weeks. I've gone from right back in the centre forward so many times, because right back we definitely need to strengthen 100%. But people are like, well, we don't need another forward because we got 4 or 5, but none of them are putting the ball in the back of the net at the end of the day. So I would probably at this point go for a stonking great centre forward who can actually put the ball in the back of the net.
Exactly right. I mean, I did a poll yesterday. May have seen that, may not have. 51% went for a right back. My argument against that is that that's not going to move the needle for us. And he may have a right back that's good, may give us 5, 6, 7 assists, may create 6 or 7 goals, but a striker could score 10 to 12 goals in a season for us. So that's going to move the needle for us a little bit more. That's my argument. But obviously, the majority of fans went with the right back, Matt.
Well, that's the thing, right? You think, well, actually, after Christmas last year, we were, 3rd best defence in the league?
Yeah.
And the problem we have was putting the ball in the back of the net. And that seems to have continued. So you'd think, well, okay, the right back position is desperately needed. But I think we need goals more.
Yeah, I
And
would.
I think that let's say we're going to concede the same amount of goals approximately, Gary. We need to score 10 to 12 more goals per season to get us from 8th place to say 6th. Matt here, want to jump in before Gary? Go.
Oh,
I
sorry. Go ahead.
Gary, I would have loved for us to have gone out for Lautaro Martinez because
Yes.
I have a feeling I have a feeling would be like the new Alexis, as per se.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Like
Gary, that argument that I had, right back versus striker, I think striker is going to move the needle for us more than right back.
Yeah, I got a couple things. One is as far as Martin not being good enough, I think he's better than what we had before. So for me, anytime we bring in a player, if he's better than the player on our team and he pushes them back down the table,
Raise the
back
level
down the
a bit.
squad, back down in the squad, pushes them back to the bench, I'll take it because we need to get better every time we bring a new player in. And the one thing we've done with our 5 players that we brought in, they've all bumped somebody, right? Somebody. Martin, not really, because he was a starter to begin with, but everybody else has bumped somebody else and potentially has the opportunity to start. So we keep doing that. Eventually, we will be looking at those Martinez and Nieves and all these players, and they will be coming in and be challenging, not getting the spot automatically. Right? Ben White comes in, he gets it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If it was him, if they were playing the same position, it was him and Gabriel, you'd be like, why are they bringing in 2 players, around the same level, But that's where we want to be, right? We want to be in players that you're concerned about. So that's where we go there. I looked at your poll, and I think I actually put in midfield because I just feel like we're still lacking in the midfield, no matter what, like defensively and offensively. We need more depth there than ever. I think you got 5 right backs. Unless you're getting rid of 3 or 4 of them, this is going to be the same situation we did last time, right? We had 8 center backs, and we still went out and got another one and left our midfield bare, right? Nah, you got to change that kind of focus, and let's go midfield no matter what. For me, anyways, that's where I think we need to go. I do agree that our center back, similar to a Tierney, will do really good for us. But you got 5 of them, and
Right back.
the team has made a mistake there, having so many players that could potentially play that position and not being able to get rid of them. So they're going to have to kind of bite their tongue for a little while. But that midfield we need to control the midfield. The right back's going to help us, but I think that midfield is going to be also crucial to what we want to do going forward. The more players we have there, the better quality players we have there, I think the better we're going to be, because that will give us hopefully more easier chances. Right now, those chances come far and thick. They're far in between when they come. We need to be clinical when we're doing that, and we're not there. But I believe we can get enough shots on goal and get enough goals in with the players we got right now. So that's
Holdini. I do believe Rudy is correct there. We'll get into this Holdini. I want to get to Alonso with the same question. Alonso, you're allowed to buy 1 more player for 1 more position. What position are you filling? Because my poll ended 20% landed on central midfield, 31% went for a striker, and 49% went for a right back. So which position are you filling if you got 1 more to fill?
Well, I'm kind of like torn between right back and midfield. I think that Colin Chambers has done okay with the fact that he gave that 1 goal last week. He's a center back by trade, right? So, and Bellerin wants out, and that's obviously the thing there. And he hasn't played up to par in like 2 years now. And with Suarez, in my opinion, he's not an Arsenal right back. He's just a backup to me. So I think the reason why he's starting today is because we don't have a lot of depth in that position right now. That being said, what Gary had alluded to was such a midfield needs help too, because we all know Xhaka's flaws, right? And with Partey being out, it just kind of sucks because there's so much potential with Partey, and I think we all want to see a partnership with Akanga and Partey, right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. So, yeah, we just need a lot right now, and I think those 2 positions he's really filling before the deadline window closes.
Yeah, well, Matt, as Gary and Alonso alluded to, there's no wrong answer here. Central midfield could improve us. Right back could improve us, and definitely striking position could improve us as well.
They all will improve us. It's no could.
Yeah.
They will improve us because we need it.
Exactly. But Matt, today we're down. Probably I count about 5 first-team players, and that's going to be a tough ask against Chelsea today.
It is, and you've got some key players in there that are out. You've got White, Lacazette, Partey, even someone like Nketiah who could really...
Gabriel,
could all players that could make a significant impact on a game, like this. So it's a tough ask, but, we have strengthened over the summer with the likes of Lokonga, and I think that will help us. But, yeah, we're certainly going to feel the effect of not having certain players there to at least... second half make an impact. And like I say, defensively, that's probably hurt us the most today, I think, in terms of White, for example, and having Gabriel and things like that not in. And Partey, could you imagine? Having Partey and Lokonga in there today would make a massive difference, I think.
But that wouldn't happen, though, right? You wouldn't play those two together right now. That would be the dream pairing, but he probably wouldn't do that, right?
Much the same way he won't play 2 right-footed central defenders or 2 left-footed central defenders. You're probably very right, Gary. And the first opportunity we'll have to examine that will be September, when Partey will come back, Gabriel will come back. Even Eddie Nketiah, I believe, is injured. He'll come back at that point in time.
If we're saying Lokonga's name all day today, then it would be really hard for me to see like Arteta going, you know what, you're gonna have to sit on the bench, especially if he out, But we'll see if Xhaka has a defensive stall, master class. Then what do you do? I don't see it, but if he does, right, he has shown sometimes he can do something good for us that way. So
afternoon, Alex. I hope you. Well, we're all looking forward to the game, right? Matt here, Chelsea with Tuchel. I look at their team sheet, and you would say we have players that can match up against them any day of the week in terms of ability. But what Tuchel has done is put them in position to play to their strengths and play as a team. And that's what we have to overcome today. And we have to match that.
We have to match or overcome it. My question is, my problem with Arteta is a lot of the times he overuses players or misuses them. Like, Partey was never injured at Atletico Madrid, and being forced into matches like the last time we played in North London derby, not pre-season, in the previous season, where he was forced into the game and he was out injured again for, I think it was another 3, 4, 5, 6 games, and it's just crazy that he doesn't know what he's doing, and that is the problem. I'd love to know who you know. I'd love to know the players who we could match up against. Like, what are the battles that we can analyze here?
Do you think with Partey, though, that with the injury thing, that it's down to the aggression of the league and the physicality, that he's been a bit unfortunate, because they've not been strains and sprains, like this last one was just an unfortunate tackle. It's a bit, I suppose it'd be a bit harsh on Arteta there, I think.
True.
But, it definitely is a bit frustrating when he's had such a good injury record previously, and then obviously with us, he's spent quite a bit of time out.
No, Matt, it's just that, like, the mismanagement, it's the mismanagement of young players also. Like, you might go on a goal scoring run, for example, even players like
Lacazette last season.
Yeah, I get that.
And then there's a break in his routine. You get into a run of games and there's a break.
Pepe was the same, I think.
I will say with the lack of European football, we're going to have less and less games. So that points to me we need to have more of a consistent lineup playing more often. I just hope and believe. I more hope than believe that Arteta will do that. Matt, we started out talking about the crowds back in the stadium. I actually think it might be a good thing because Arteta will be unable to relay information in game on the sideline to certainly players that are far away from him, and it's going to help Arteta. He's also got to hone his craft as well as the team.
Yeah, he tends to overcomplicate things at times. I think he tends to kind of, there's all this talk about, too many instructions, talks too much, restricts players' freedom a little bit because they can't think for themselves.
Yeah.
But I think a part of that is true. You see it. I mean, you could hear him constantly. Maybe all coaches are like that, and maybe it's just really pronounced when you haven't got crowds there. But it was constant. You could just hear it all the time. And you're thinking, just let the players play a little bit. So I think you're right. I think that will help. They can just get on with it and hopefully focus on their game rather than the constant kind of influx of messages.
And Matt, a quick word on Bukayo Saka.
Because Saka,
he's gonna get a hell of a reception today, right?
Was that to me or to Mahir?
Yeah, go ahead, Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be great. I'm imagining he'll get a really raucous set of applause when he comes in and comes onto the pitch because he deserves it, doesn't he? And obviously we've seen it, thankfully, even with the likes of our not so honourable friends down the road, gave him a good warm reception as well. And he's been getting it everywhere he goes, and rightly so. Yeah. So, I fully expect him to get
home fans, do us proud. People going to the stadium. I'll go to everyone else. Alonso, the same questions. Arteta at home with the stadium full. He won't be able to get his instructions across. I think it's a blessing in disguise, Alonso.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned this before. I think the worst thing about Arteta, in my opinion, is that he's a micromanager. And I think that if he were more hands off, I think, and this is my opinion, that they would get more stuff done, and they would just they just make mistakes on their own and just figure it out themselves. Because having Arteta always yelling at them and always shouting at them to do this and that doesn't help his cause, and that's what I get from that. And I think the team will perform, I think, a little bit better. I think if he would just let them be. Just let him work it out, sort it out. I think it'd be a better team, and that's one of his flaws. Yeah, I see it in Arteta.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be good. And one of the things I've always said is, don't they practice? Don't they practice for all these scenarios? So there's really no reason. And one thing that is telling, I posted it in our chat group with the group here. Jonas, the manager of the women's team, they were asking him about some build-up play in the game, and his response was, for me, it's 100% down to what the player decides in the moment. Meaning, basically, I've said and done all I can. Now the players have to go out there and execute it based on what they see. All right. So, I mean, shouldn't players be able to do that, right? I mean, that's where we are, right? I mean, I think if he's screaming at them, that means he hasn't actually told them, because that shouldn't be the first time they heard it, all right? And it should be like, you know what, you forgot to do this. Yeah, I got it, coach. Or, you know what, we missed something here. But he should have already done all of this. This is most of this team, was there last season. Lukaku's new, but most of the team is there, so he should know how to go into play, how Lukaku's going to make a difference for them. If he doesn't, then he's the wrong man for the job, right? So he shouldn't have to say too much, because he should have already said it since Friday. He's had since Friday to figure this thing out, right?
Yeah, all the talking should be done. Go out on the field and do what you've been preparing for. We've had a whole week off, Mahir. 9 days, actually, since Friday of last week. We'll be back at 6:30 GMT for post-game, so all of these faces you will see again today. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But if you like it, come back. Mahir.
It's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful, yeah.
Beautiful thing. Mahir, Arteta.
The silence.
I think he said next.
Next.
See, that's a perfect example of less says more. Exactly what we were just talking
we're just
about.
answering all his all of his. We're just answering for him. All right. Next.
We're getting to predictions, and people hate predictions, but my hero, you think it's going to be a massacre?
I do think it's going to be a massacre. However, if Arteta,
Flip flop.
yeah, no, I'm gonna flip flop. Yeah, I'm gonna use my flip flop card this time. However, if Arteta makes the right moves, it can be 2-1. It's a big however though.
A win.
On how he manages the players that he has at the moment. Let me ask you guys a very quick question. Do you guys think if we lose this game against Chelsea and we lose the game against City, would they have a reason to get him sacked?
Results would be a reason, but I'm going to tell you right now, and most of you won't like this. We haven't spent all this money just to get rid of Arteta within 4 or 5 weeks of the window.
Agree.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
That's very
a lot of
realistic.
people will be calling for his head. There's your answer, Mahir. Matt agrees. Gary is very silent in his reaction. Gary's not happy about that, but results usually will determine. But these are mitigating results these next 2-3 games.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think he's going to make it. He's going to make it easier or difficult for himself, right? Depending on what goes on, because he could lose his next 2 matches, and we could be far from like thinking he's going to be gone, or he can lose these 2 matches, and he could be like gone the next, as soon as he gets back to the office, kind of thing. So we need to see some improvement, even in losses. We need to see some improvement from him. So I think he'll make it easy, And now with fans in the stands, it will get really tough for him. A lot of fans in the stands, I believe, are for Arsenal anyway, so they're not. Hopefully, they're not all going to be cheering, screaming at Arteta. But
your prediction, Gary?
I've been saying all along, I don't see us getting a win, so I'm going to stick with that. I don't. I said that's as far as I want to go. I don't see us getting a win. You know what? I like to be surprised. The one thing about the lineup today, it didn't surprise me, so I don't know if that's good or bad. So maybe the play today has been, I think everybody's looking back to the last time we played Chelsea and going, you know what? That was at the low of lows, and we came out of it pretty good, right? This one, I'm not sure because I think Chelsea's already done this before, and I don't think they're going to want to do it again, right? So it's going to be a tough game for us. We're going to have to play for 90 minutes. We have no let-ups. So surprise me today, Arsenal.
Yeah, hopefully we're surprised. Mike here wants to be referred to as an it. So it said Leno spent the night staring at the ceiling in the dark, Alonso. What do you make of that?
What's that?
Leno spent the night staring at the ceiling in the dark. Whatever that means. I don't know. Cryptic. But what's your prediction for today, Alonso?
Well, so we always say how badly we're going to lose to Chelsea, right? So in the past, we've beaten them. Somehow we've beaten them, right?
Some way.
So to me, I think they're gonna win today. I think I say that not because it's my birthday. Well, yeah, it's my birthday, and I want them to win, right? I mean, I'm just being an Arsenal fan, right? I want to see them beat Chelsea because I don't like Chelsea, but also realistic. And it's saying that it's been a close game and we'll somehow win the game because we've had their number. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep. All right. And Mr. Bungo wants to know how long till kickoff. 30 minutes. Come back here after the game, Mr. Bungo. Matt, we're going to round out the pregame show with you and your prediction, Matt.
I think there's certainly a couple of goals in it for Chelsea today with the back line that we've got. So I think I could, but we have potentially got goals up, and I think we might actually stick the ball in the net a couple of times today. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think.
2-2 draw.
Yeah.
I think we won't concede 2 goals. But I respect what you're saying. 2-2 draw. I don't think we can score 2, unfortunately, against Chelsea. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, and hopefully we see some chaos. I wanted to see Pepe through the middle. Whether that's going to be the case, Martinelli on the left will be interesting to watch for. I hope there's a lot of changing around. That would create a lot of chaos because I think Saka, Pepe, and Martinelli could interchange on any 3 of those positions. Maybe Martinelli could be central or left, but the other 2 could play in any of those 3 positions. Maybe Saka not up front, but listen,
I gotta get going.
thanks for joining, Alonso. We're closing out. Hopefully, we'll see you later. Gary, love the backdrop there. You gotta show me how. You gotta tell me how you do that. I might implement that.
Tell me how to do it as well. I need it.
I'm not here, of course. Thanks for joining. We'll see you later, Matt. First guest this season on the pregame show. Great to have you, Matt, and we'll see you later as well.
Great stuff. I'll catch you all later.
Listen, everybody, I think if we don't expect to win, we can enjoy the game a little bit better. Well, that's the theory anyway, right? So we'll see you on the flip side. Hopefully we get the result. We'll see you in 2.5 hours now? Take care, everyone. Be safe out there and enjoy the game. And we'll see you soon. 150